It's a bit of everybody. Here we are at the President of Malta's palace.
Whatever you mention His Majesty.
Sorry, right, please. Thank you. Thank you.
So you're enjoying your stay in Malta?
I enjoy this video.
Did you have a fruitful meeting this morning?
Yes, not only fruitful, juicy, more.
Issa sa minix.
Then there is the palace in Valletta, which is the office of the president. Whenever the president has something officially, it takes place in the palace in Valletta. Then we have San Anton. San Anton is the residence, is the home of the president. The president stays here, San Anton, during his 5-year term. Sorry?
Oh, hey.
Hair.
Don't forget you can come
We had already a hair, but that was a very long time ago. I remember I've been working here at San Anton 36 years now. This is my 9th president. So I remember it was Miss Adata Barbara, but I think it's been about 30 years ago. Well, till you get used to it. San Anton started in 1623. We're talking about 400 years ago. I told you started because San Anton, the idea of San Anton at first, it was not that a palace should be built. At first, the idea was that a villa should be built. In fact, this Grandmaster Antoine de Paul, was traveling a lot between Verdala and the palace in Valletta, and at that time there was no buses here to travel by foot or by carriage. So he decided they had a piece of land here. Here is in the middle exactly between Valletta and Rabat. I'm telling you, Verdala, the palace, and the palace in Valletta. Here, San Anton is in the middle exactly. So he had a piece of land here, and he built this villa, so that during his voyages, while he was traveling, he could stay here and rest. But then, other grandmaster who came along bought other land around this villa, and the palace was formed, was developed. In fact, 200 years it took time, because in 1802, we're talking 200 years after, Sir Alexander Ball, who was the first civil commission staying here in San Anton, was still doing construction work in the palace. So the thing I'm trying to say is that the palace took about 200 years to develop itself. I'm going to show you some halls, 10 halls of
Andiamo.
Well, this is called the rotunda. Rotunda, because of the way it is built. Interesting about this room are these four statues here. These are marble statues, and interesting about it that originally they were in the old theater in Valletta, which was bombed during the war. But they say in that period, and they were brought here in the palace, in the private garden. But recently, they have just been restored and preserved here in this room. Well, I think it's interesting to see even the furniture here. For example, this table here, you have to realize that this furniture is about 200, 300 years old. In that room, we have the dining room. Right now, there's a conference going on. The table in that room holds 36 persons, and it is mostly used every Thursday. Every Thursday, there is the presentation of credentials. When a new ambassador comes here to Malta to represent his country, that ceremony takes place in the palace in Valletta, like I told you, which is because it is something officially, but afterwards there will be well, this room, the English had the habit of calling the rooms, the red room, the green room. For example, this room, before it was called the blue. Because of the color, there was the curtains, the walls, the tapestry. So, President George Abela decided that this room should be renovated. And in fact, it was called after Serent Nemamo. Serent Nemamo, who was the first president of Malta. The renovation took place. His family, Serent Nemamo's family, offered us all these photographs of Serent Nemamo. In fact, there is this right there. And something, and they even offered us in every drawer, there are letters and receipts, all written by them, which they were given to us by his family. In fact, they are being guarded on it.
I work in private quarters.
Anzi, te c'è miscempa bħal-għagata.
All the portraits of the Grand Masters of the 18th century, all these Grand Masters are of the 18th century. Why we brought all the 18th century? Because the Grand Masters of the 18th century had some relation with Salanton. Apart from this one here in the middle, because it is Grandmaster Antoine Depot, who was the founder of Salanton. That's Hompesh, who was the last Grandmaster in 1798, when the French came over and took over Malta from the Grandmaster. Then a year after, the English took over Malta from the French. So those 3 years were turbulence here in Malta, first the Grandmasters, then the French, And then
We asked the English to come over.
and stayed till Malta till 1974. There is, but in the medicine one letter. That's why we didn't
We asked them to
because the portrait of Grandmaster Lavalle was in relation to one letter. So we left it the medicine.
British وإحنا عندنا
Confesh was from Germany.
That's how we know it,
I
of course,
don't know
and
the
it is a
lady who
fact.
said was.
Issa li da xej ġużet, għanna
Everybody give me his face to take
Okay, speaking of Doris and Nick, I just took it like that. Mary,
Very good. Okay, yes.
But in any case, and now I am above party politics, no doubt. I have a strong voice, but I realized that so the president has a clout in this country, so we need to use that president's voice. But it is very, very important to try at all corners of the world we need to really push hard for everyone to become aware that women, it's not with, when only few women really, go up the ladder of leadership, we will not change what needs to be changed. And this I know from experience, from my own country, where I have been, as I told you, nearly 40 years in politics, and I have been also the only general secretary of a political party in Malta as a woman, and I must admit that I did not change the methodology of how we do politics in terms of time and loads of other aspects of it, but men changed it, because I was many a time the only woman in the crowd. So that I know for sure, that if we're not there in numbers, we will not succeed to have the future generations to go up the ladders that need to be really climbed, so that our perspectives as women are really heard and also acted upon. So I augur that the Malta Council of Women will continue to endeavour in this stride and this. I can tell you, the Malta Council of Women have been very influential, and during these last 50 years, I can tell you. But now also, I will ask the Malta Council of Women to help into the